Peace, family. First, I want to talk about this picture that you see on the left. That white man that you see right there, his name is J. Edgar Hoover. He's the man that created the FBI. And he also created an organization called COINTELPRO. And as you can see, right underneath FBI, it says Operation Rise of the Black Messiah. COINTELPRO, the FBI's former spy program targeting citizens of the United States. The Patriot Act allows FBI to start illegal spying again, which was outlawed following the Church Committee report. Now, COINTELPRO is responsible for the homicides of black leaders such as Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King. They responsible for taking down the notorious Black Panthers. And what they do is they've also infiltrated the Nation of Islam back during the time when Malcolm X was the top minister. And what they did was they sent letters back and forth between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. Now, there was already a little bit of tension building up in the nation. People was getting a little jealous of Malcolm, right? And a lot of these brothers admitted it. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan also admitted that he may have played a role in him being murdered because of some of the speeches that he made, right? But Farrakhan was a passionate brother. And he had mad love for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. So Malcolm X spoke out against it in public, saying that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was dealing with underage girls or had multiple girlfriends or whatever. So, this white man on the left saw that to be a perfect opportunity to slither up in the nation and get the ball rolling that ultimately led to the assassination of Malcolm X. Now, the guy you see on the right is none other than my brother, Hassan Campbell, better known as Poppy. Poppy is the brother that exposed African Bambaataa as being a child molester. And he molested boys back in the day up in Bronx River Projects up in New York. Everybody know African Bambaataa came out with the song Planet Rock. So, African Bambaataa was they say he was a baby spade or something that came out of the gang called the Black Spades up in New York. So, the reason why I'm making this video really is because Hassan Campbell made a statement about J. Edgar Hoover. Now, we already know his mission is to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. In other words, anybody that tries to lead the black people, right? And he feels as though they might try to overthrow the government or some crap like that. So that's what his excuse is. But basically, we all know that they just want to keep us down anyway. So, but Hassan Campbell says that we need to stop following these leaders, right? Because this white man over here made a statement saying that we will never have another black leader unless they send him. Now, my problem with that is we already know that the FBI and COINTELPRO do not want to see the rise of a Black Messiah. So he puts out this statement basically, it's to the black people saying that y'all ain't gonna never have another leader unless we send him. So to me, what is that doing to the minds of the people? The minds of black people. Black people gonna think and look at that statement and say, "Damn, man, I gotta be leery of everybody that comes and says they're a leader." And by every right, we should. We should be, kind of leery. We should want to investigate anybody that said there's a leader, right? But that's not to say, man, just disregard everybody that said there's a leader. Because they could be genuine. And they could ultimately be the next black messiah. Or the next leader. But if we just take what the man say, we'd be running around here like a bunch of kids with no daddy. You understand? We can't let that man, he already infiltrated. See, this is what he did. He infiltrated all the organizations and took them down, right? So now what he's trying to do is infiltrate every individual's mind and take your mind down and turn you against anybody black that says he's a leader. Yeah, infiltrate your mind. Because there's no more organizations because they done killed that. So now, the man is smart. And one thing I remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying one time, he says, the wiser we get, the wiser the devil get. Yeah. So, I looks out for that. The man was smart to make a statement like that. Right? But see, that's not going to deter me from, looking. See, they already know it's going to be a black leader coming. Right? So what it do is tell you, you will never have another black leader. If you do, we going to send him. So already right there in your mind, you're not even expecting another black leader. He done killed that, if you believe what he said. So, another thing he was saying, man, he was talking about the Minister Louis Farrakhan, man. He said Farrakhan killed Malcolm X. And Farrakhan made a public statement saying that he may have been, he might have said some things that may have contributed to his murder, right? And I remember Farrakhan had Malcolm X's wife on the stage with him, man. He spoke with his daughter. They sat down and had an interview. And I believe that if Farrakhan had anything to do with the murder of Malcolm X, Farrakhan would be in prison right now, as we speak. Because they hate Farrakhan. They hate Farrakhan for telling the truth, right? And the Jews, man, they already put death threats out on them, man. So, man, this thing with Farrakhan is like he got a passion or something, a hatred towards Farrakhan. Well, all I've ever known the minister to do is stand up for his people. Especially when one of your brothers is being brought up on charges, most of the people with money anyway, the first thing they do is they run to the minister. And so the minister had so much compassion and love for his people that he would try to defend you, right? If you go to him and say, look, man, these people trying to put something over on me, the minister, from what I've seen, is going to try to defend his brother. I guess until he find otherwise. But see, Farrakhan knows that he's not a law, and people do bad things sometimes. People make mistakes, right? So who are we not to forgive somebody? We not in no position to condemn nobody for making no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And he said something about Dr. York and Farrakhan was condone what they was doing. That's basically what he was saying, right? Which, me personally, I find that not to be true at all. I think Farrakhan, man, just just love his people, man, and he'll stand up for you, whether, especially when it comes to the beast. You know what I mean? I think the minister would rather us deal with the situation. You know what I'm saying? But we so quick, man, to condemn our own people, man. And another reason why I got J. Edgar Hoover up there is because that's what he want us to do. He want us to condemn our own people. And when it comes to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, they don't have to kill him like they did Malcolm X. All they got to do is poison the minds of the people about the minister. And like when I hear people talk bad about the Nation of Islam, because one thing I noticed about the Nation of Islam, I never heard the minister or any other brothers in the Nation of Islam condemn any other organization out there. I never heard them condemn the Hebrew Israelites. I never really heard them condemn the Sunnis, besides a little discrepancies and some doctrine somewhere, but nothing personal. You know, I definitely never heard them condemn the Christians. But I hear all these groups, all these other groups, having something bad to say about the minister or the Nation of Islam. And every time I hear that, I think about that white man right there on the left. Because that's his mission. He died for that. He died for us not to come together. Right? And he probably rejoiced every time he hear, you know, the people condemn somebody that's a leader. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard Dr. Umar Johnson speak about him having to go to court, man, the first thing I thought about was COINTELPRO. Now, granted, man, we might got some people out here that's wicked, right? Because they had no knowledge, basically. You know, that book says that we suffer from the lack of knowledge. So if you don't have the knowledge, man, you're not going to really see what's going on. And you're going to play right into J. Edgar Hoover's hands. So, man, I just hope and pray, man, that we get it together, man, and stop condemning each other, man. And I was happy to see Sarnetta and Poppy piece it up. But let me play this clip real quick so you can hear it for yourself.
But the reality of it is, y'all people got to understand something too. When it comes to these leaders that y'all call leaders, here's the thing. You take the information that they have and you leave them where they at. Every man and every woman is responsible for being the leader of their household. Stop letting these people lead you. The one thing I will never forget is the fact that J. Edgar Hoover said out of his mouth, y'all will not have any more leaders, meaning the African American community, unless we create them.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So now, what are we supposed to do every time a leader step up? Turn our backs on them and say, nah. J. Edgar Hoover said, you had to be sent from him. You see the psychological game that he played on the people? That's terrible, man. The white man, he's wicked, man, I'm telling you. So he destroyed all the organizations. So now he worked on the minds of the individual. So, man, wake up, man. Peace, man. I'm out of time.